morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Analyst.
Did you leave your home at 7 o'clock this morning to get here?
Almost.
Well, thankfully, we have two of our guests for this segment. We're still expecting two more. And we're going to be looking at tackling insecurity. And the quest to address this is something that government and Nigerians are taking very, very seriously. And if you recall, in the course of the week, we heard conflicting reports that the head, whose picture was shown just now, Abubakar Shekau, had been killed. And the claim was apparently based on just some security information, we were told. So they say he may have been killed in a shootout. So there's no confirmation that he has been. And if he has been, what is the impact on all this that is going on now? To look at all this with us this morning, it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. ABAYOMI DAWODU, who's a security expert. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have Mr. NDUKANWABUEZE, who's a public affairs analyst. Good morning. And thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
We still expect Mr. Basi Eniang, who's a public affairs analyst, as well as Mr. Wilson Isangbedo, a security expert. Now let's go into this, because when we talk insecurity or security in Nigeria, we never have enough time to talk about all the issues that people are thinking about. But in the course of the week, there was an incursion in Gamboru, and we were told that it was actually civilians who did the deed. Now, I want to know your comments about the involvement of civilians in this fight against Boko Haram and this fight against insecurity.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be in the studios of the 7 times champion of television broadcasting in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
You see, when people have gotten it up to here, the next thing is to turn back and start to defend themselves. But when we are talking about security, insecurity, we always look around that thing that is happening. Why don't we go to the basics? What causes all these things? In my own mind, when people are not fully engaged, they say an idle hand is the devil's tool.
Mm-hmm.
The participants in terror, one, the government is another. Alero, do you think or don't you think that a government can be a terrorist by providing the platform, for such acts to? There's a part in the law that says aiding and abetting. Mm-hmm. Look, one of the rudiments of tackling insecurity is electricity. And because all the other gadgets that we used in monitoring the activities rely solely on electricity. But where is the electricity? That is one aspect that I've always been looking at. Another thing is...
I'm sorry, we're not the only nation that is battling with electricity palaver, but the other countries don't have, at least not to the extent that we have it.
Yes, but you see, when a discourse like this is going on, if it is too academic, people will not really key into it. So that's why I said, in such matters like this, we should look around what concerns Nigerians most. If we are talking about the leader of Boko Haram being killed or whatever, when what was the name of this man? The Al-Qaeda man, Osama bin Laden was killed. Everybody saw it. So,
well, we didn't really see it, but we were told that he had been killed.
It was on TV.
And we haven't heard from him since then, so we can safely assume that we were told the truth.
It was on TV. Yes. So let's get back to the issue. Alero, it is when people are given what is due to them that we will get out of this.
Okay. Now, this involvement of the civilians, you know that people have said on and on and on that these terrorists are human beings.
That's right.
They don't live in outer space. They live among us.
Yeah.
And it is time that people began to speak up.
Yeah.
Do you see this involvement as a sign that people are beginning to speak up and civilians are beginning to be involved because they can see clearly it's all about their own safety. It's all about their own security.
Yes, Alero, I think, thank you for inviting me. Yes, people, this involvement now, that is not the first reaction of the people in the Northeast. The first reaction was apprehension. A number of men, old men, women, and children have fled the area. Those that are fighting back now, well, you will say are courageous ones, okay? As my colleague just said, if people get to a point when there is no other thing to do, you have to stand and fight back. If you don't fight, you will die. If you fight, you might actually die. So why not let me take this option?
Yeah.
Let me fight. At least if I die, I can leave something for my children. I think the people in the Northeast have gotten to that point. They can't go to school. Their children can't go to school. They can't do their business. You can't visit your in-laws. You can't go to marriage. You can't do anything. Life has come to a standstill. And the government, one might say, has all the gadgets to protect itself against these activities. So it is the people, at the end of the day, who bear the brunt. Okay? So that phase, even though I have my own problems, because the people who are the merchants of terrorism, quite a number of them have been trained. They have experience in manipulating all the instruments of violence and what have you. Yeah. But when the people, you just wake up one morning, you just see that there is insecurity around you, you can't live your life normally anymore. Now you want to fight back. You are going against a moving train because you are going against the people that are in their own comfort zone. They understand the terrain, they understand the instruments, they understand whatever. So that I foresee where, because of the involvement of the people, we might be seeing more casualties because the police and the JTF can be everywhere at the same time.
In fact, those have now been withdrawn, and we understand that it's only the army that will be in charge of it, or the operation.
You know, so that I do not see that as the solution. Okay.
But don't you think it'll help the fight?
Yeah, theoretically speaking, if the people buy into it because it is their own, the area belongs to them. They have no other place to go. There is that kind of mindset that, yes, the people support this cause. In any case, it's going to be easier at the end of the day. But I'm talking about the logistics. I'm talking about the possibility of more casualties, the possibility of more guerrilla attacks when JTF or whoever is not around there. And when you now see the merchants of terrorism confronting a village and they see these villagers as
sitting dogs.
I mean, in short, they go to them as if they are going to war. Not as to say, okay, all the women, we give you a corridor to leave. All the children, we give you a corridor to leave. The old men, we look at your eyes. If it's bloodshot, then we fight you. If it is not, if you look at you and you look innocent, we also give you a corridor. In this case, everybody, everything that is along the corridor,
raised.
you know, we come. That's my fear.